And some of y'all may not know what that means. Some of y'all think you're feminine, but you're not. When we think about what men want in women, the first thing that comes to our mind is looks, which is true. Men like what we see. We're very visual creatures, but every now and then you'll see an ugly duckling with a nice, respectable brother, and you'll wonder, how the hell she get that guy? The only answer to that is she's bringing more to the table than just looks. If you're a woman struggling to get a good man, even though you keep yourself up, this video is for you. Even though looks are a popular trait that men look for in women, it's not high on the list for men with principles. It's still on the list, but it's not really what men desire from women. What men really want from women, what they really want, is a woman who embraces her femininity. And some of y'all may not know what that means. Some of y'all think you're feminine, but you're not. If everywhere you go, you're the loudest person in the room, you're not being feminine. If every time you step out the house, you're showing more skin than clothes, you're not being feminine. If you're bragging about your career accomplishments on a first date, you're not being feminine. Men want women who are modest, not just with their clothing, but with their actions as well. But Naeem, these men over here thirsting over IG women with their asses out. They may get the likes, but they won't be the wife. Men like strippers too, but you think any men want to introduce them to their mother? Hell no. Men want women who look presentable. We want someone who aims to look beautiful, not sexy. Know the difference. And when I talked about being modest with your actions, this means speaking softly. Nowadays, men tend to talk more softly than the women do. Excuse me, can I talk to you for a minute? Who just trying to talk to me? Sis, take it down a level. The people across the street should not hear you every time you open your mouth. It's not cute, it's not funny, it's a turnoff. And you won't get respectable men that way. You want to carry yourself with class. You can't call yourself a queen but then act like a peasant. We talked about dressing classy, but you also have to act classy. Just because you grew up in the ghetto does not mean you have to act that way. All this hand movement and neck rolling when you talk is not feminine, and it's not modest behavior. Also, men don't care about all your degrees. I know you're proud of yourself, but if he doesn't ask, there's no need to mention it. Boasting about your career accomplishments does not get you any cool points with men. Men just want to know if you're self-sufficient. Past that, we could care less. Men also want a woman who is agreeable. A lot of men say submissive, but I know how much y'all hate that word, so I'm going to say agreeable. You don't have to combat everything your man says. You chose him, so you should trust him to lead. Be supportive of the decisions he makes and the goals in his life. And most importantly, be your man's peace. And I know y'all women hear that all the time, so I'm going to break it down for y'all so y'all can understand. Every day a man has to put on a mask and be strong. But when he gets home, he wants to be able to release and be vulnerable. Men aren't allowed to be vulnerable out there in the real world. Otherwise, society would just gobble them up. But at home, that's his sanctuary. That's where he can let his guard down. Your man gets home and the first thing you want to do is lay into him with all your problems. That's a lot to deal with. Give your man time to compress. I know y'all want to talk, but you gotta give him time to settle down first. First, give him a kiss. Ask him how his day was. Read his mood. You gotta know your man. You might have to type a man who wants to lay down after work. Maybe he wants to play video games. This is what I want y'all to do. I want you to say, baby, there's something I need to talk to you about, but I'm going to let you settle in first. Just by saying this is going to go a long way. He might just say, nah, babe, I'm good. What you want to talk about? But by giving him the option to settle in first, this mentally prepares him for whatever you want to talk about, and that way he doesn't feel bombarded. That's called effective communication, which brings me to my next topic. Don't argue with your man. Hold up. Hear me out first. What I'm saying is speak your piece, but don't argue. When you start arguing and getting loud, that takes you out of your feminine frame, and you want to maintain your feminine energy at all times. That's how a true queen does it. If you guys get into an argument and you start clapping your hands and getting real loud, your man is automatically going to get defensive. Why? Because now you're giving off aggressive masculine energy. A man's instinct is to not back down. If you are aggressive, he is going to be aggressive back. This can often escalate the situation and can lead to cops getting called. And we already got enough brothers in jail. So you're probably thinking to yourself, how can I get my point across without starting an argument? You have to be tender, not tough. You get nowhere being tough with men. You're not going to win that battle. Instead of coming at your man telling him how wrong he was, instead speak about how he made you feel. I'll give you an example. I was dating this one woman and I was being a stupid boyfriend. And so I was coming home and I just knew there was going to be a big argument. So when I got home, I already had my defenses up. But when I walked in the door, all she said was, Naeem, when you did this, and that really hurt me. And I thought you respected me better than that. That was all she said. And it was such a mature response to the situation. It kind of caught me off guard. And I was looking at her and she had this look of disappointment on her face. And I just felt so bad. It was in that moment that I realized that I was the dumbass. I was the one who messed up and I needed to make it right. Now, if I walked in there and the first thing she started to do is waving her hands in my face and started cussing me out, now I don't feel sorry. And we probably break up that night. Why did I respond better to the former? Because she showed tenderness, which is a feminine trait. Men respond better to feminine traits. Now, if she was confrontational, which is a masculine trait, now you're going to get more of a negative response. Men respond better to sensitivity, not anger. It's just that simple. Don't go listening to these music artists talking about busting windows out the car. Sis, if you're that angry, just leave. And if he doesn't respond to you showing your sensitive side, this means that he doesn't care about you. And this relationship is not for you, so there's no point in you wasting your time arguing with someone who doesn't give a damn about you in the first place. So in conclusion, if you want to know what a man wants, they want a woman who is tender, kind, agreeable, and modest. If you can be those things, you will have a much easier time not only getting a man, but keeping one. That's all I got for this one. Let me know what you thought of the video. What points did you agree with? What points did you disagree with? Leave your comments below and let me know what you thought. And if you got anything out this video, hit that like button. This is Agree to Disagree. I'm out.